Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. There's been a heavy police presence in the West Flat area of the city. Police and paramedics were called this morning to a home in the 900 block of 12th Street West. People were asked to avoid the area. No other information has been released about the situation at this time. RCMP have released more information about a fatal crash south of Prince Albert earlier this week. It happened at about 6 o'clock Tuesday evening on Highway 3, about 5 kilometers south of Prince Albert. RCMP say a van and an SUV collided, and then the van hit a third vehicle. The driver of the van, a 67-year-old from Prince Albert, died at the scene. The driver of the SUV was not injured. The driver of the third vehicle was taken to hospital with serious injuries. There's no word yet on what contributed to the crash. And a 43-year-old man who was riding a snowmobile on Pinehouse Lake in northern Saskatchewan has died. RCMP say he was fatally injured when the snowmobile hit a reef. He was the only person on the snowmobile at the time. Saskatchewan RCMP say a 175% increase in motor vehicle collisions have resulted in a rise in fatal collisions this month. In the last 8 days, RCMP traffic services have responded to 8 fatal collisions. In November, 89 separate incidents have resulted in the death of nearly 100 people on Saskatchewan roads. RCMP say the main causes of the fatal collisions are people not wearing their seatbelts, being distracted along with speeding, and driving impaired by drugs or alcohol. Police say the majority of these collisions are preventable and are urging drivers to remember road safety.
Obviously, that the impact of when someone loses their life on Saskatchewan roadways is affects more than that one person. When you're on the road, be safe. There's other users of the road. Remember that as well. Wear your seatbelt. Don't drive under the influence. Don't speed, and don't drive while distracted.
RCMP say driving without a helmet on ATVs or snowmobiles have also resulted in fatal collisions, reminding people to be safe on the roads as winter conditions get worse leading into the holidays. The man accused of killing a woman riding in a vehicle on a Saskatchewan highway has been denied bail. Chris Fallman is accused of second-degree murder in the death of Tanya Myers. Myers was riding in a moving vehicle on Highway 39 near Weyburn when she was fatally shot on September 12th. The bail decision out of Weyburn was handed down Wednesday after a 2-day hearing last week. The details of the hearing are under a publication ban. Fallman is due back in court December 9th. A new kind of energy generation is happening in Saskatchewan. The successful drilling of Canada's first natural hydrogen well was recently completed near Central Butte. Max Power Mining Corporation was responsible for the undertaking. The company says this is an important new discovery when it comes to renewable sources of energy available right here in the province.
I will say energy is kind of like a buffet. Like you need nuclear, you need coal, you need gas, you need hydro, you need wind, and also we need natural hydrogen. It's a clean energy which is naturally occurring in the subsurface. And if you look at recently, the power consumption is getting higher and higher.
The incoming CEO went on to say the world's population is growing and that people want clean energy. Saskatoon will keep funding a provincial detox center, even though some councillors admitted they don't know where it's located. The confusion came up during day 3 of budget deliberations as councillors look for ways to cut costs and lower property taxes. Councillors learned the detox center is on Avenue O South and has been receiving city funding since 1997. Councillors also learned the city's $108,000 grant actually goes to the provincial government, which operates the facility.
This feels to me like something that is very, very exclusively in their lane for the health authority and the provincial government, and I'm not even sure why we would have been providing this grant in the first place.
Councillors voted to cut the grant to the detox center in half next year and eliminate it entirely by 2027. Boy, a little bit of frost and probably a little bit of fog in the air, which created some pretty cool-looking trees, Jeff.
There's no question. The rime ice was looking pretty spectacular. I know that many people have been sending us images of the rime ice as opposed to hoar frost, but there you go. We won't get into the differences right now to simply say they both look great. But what is also looking great is we might get a bit of a reprieve from all the cold air later next week. But before that, we do have a cold weekend in store, but still remaining to have relatively quiet conditions across the prairies, and we'll talk about all of those things later on.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith have signed a high-profile deal that could clear the way for a new oil pipeline to the Pacific Coast.
I think what it's going to do, especially with the removal of the emissions cap on Alberta, as well as the removal of the net zero power regs, I think it's going to unleash an incredible amount of investment and allow us to work together on important nation-building projects. So it's the first step, I think, of what will be a few more steps we have to take together, but I'm very pleased that the Prime Minister has heard our concerns and responded to them.
Thank you very much, Premier. And look, it's a great day for Alberta. It's a great day for Canada. And you know, at the heart of what is a multifaceted agreement. We have more work to do going forward, but multifaceted agreement. In effect, it creates an energy transition, all aspects of energy, but really sets the stage for an industrial transformation. At the core of the agreement, of course, is a priority to have a pipeline to Asia. That's going to make Canada stronger, more independent, more resilient, more sustainable.
The Memorandum of Understanding, which has been announced as British Columbia and First Nations say they deserve a seat at the table to decide whether and how a new pipeline is built. Premier Scott Moe says the announcement is a positive step for Canadian energy as a whole. For the second year in a row at Agribition, the Indigenous Agriculture Summit has been extended to 2 days, sharing success stories from across the country. Also being discussed this year, the potential First Nations and communities have in their own backyard. Instead of looking elsewhere for food resources, a number of places are starting to share their own operations.
There's a lot of talk of agriculture abroad and agriculture around the world, but at the end of the day, we're in the mecca of agriculture in the world right here, and we're so busy grinding and doing the work that we don't talk about it, we don't highlight it, we don't share all the time that we should be. But really, at the end of the day, we should be super proud of the agriculture sector in this country and just how do we accelerate it and make it more visible.
The Ag Summit will conclude on Friday afternoon. A Saskatoon distillery has been named Worldwide Whiskey Producer of the Year. Black Fox Farm and Distillery earned the title earlier this month after impressing judges at the International Wine and Spirits Competition with how they use Saskatchewan's extreme weather as part of their process. Co-owners John Cote and Barb Stefanishin Cote say they take an unusual approach, storing their barrels outdoors rather than in a climate-controlled room, letting the heat and extreme cold shape the flavor. They say they're proud to showcase Saskatchewan on a global stage and share their whiskey knowledge.
It's a Canadian award, it's a Saskatchewan award because our whiskey can only be made here because of the grains that we grow and our weather and the people.
Saskatchewan is known for growing some of the best grains in the world for other purposes, and we should be able to make very good whiskey, and this proves that we can.
They added that judges were also impressed by their crop-to-connoisseur approach, with about 95% of their grains grown on their farm. When we come back, wrestling returns to Prince Albert. Find out which former WWE superstar is on the tour through Saskatchewan.
Canadian Wrestling Elite back in Saskatchewan with another round of events as the Rumble to Remember returns with special guest star WWE alumni and former TNA and Ring of Honor world champion Austin Aries, and he joins me now on the road. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am very good. Thank you for coming on. You are you're currently doing the Prairies tour here with CWE throughout the fall now. How has the road through Canada been? I mean, you've done this all over the world, but I know in some parts of the business, this little tour, this specific one, is known as the Hell Tour. Has that been your experience?
No, not so far.
Okay.
I've definitely, I'm very seasoned and well-traveled, but have not done anything of this length. I think we're doing 23 shows in a row.
Yeah.
Different town every night. So it's a bit of a challenge. But yeah, so far so good. The weather's been kind to us. I like to bring, I brought a little bit of the sunshine from Florida with me. And we've been able to somehow circumvent the snow so far. So that's really helped the tour as far as all the drives between towns, not having to fight the elements.
It looks like you've came prepared as far as dress is concerned. You seem dressed for whatever you might experience in Canada in November.
Yeah, I got a scarf, I got some mittens. I had to get them out of storage because down in Florida, I don't have to wear this too often, if ever.
Now, a lot of big name wrestlers, such as yourself, have chosen to go the independent route these days, as opposed to sticking with one of the big promotions out there. This is becoming a more popular choice. Why do you think that is?
Well, for me personally, I didn't get into professional wrestling to work for a corporation. Right. So the corporate world's much different than being an independent contractor, being your own boss. So I get to dictate my travel, my schedule. If I want to stay in Peru a few extra days after a show and go see Machu Picchu, then I make that decision. So for me, it's the balance of we all need to make money. We all like money. It's a nice tool that helps us in various different ways. But it's also about lifestyle and are you enjoying the journey and the process of living? So for me, getting to go and do these different random shows or like this challenging tour, 22 days in a row, coming to all these small towns in Canada and meeting all these people I might never have had the chance to meet with one of these bigger circuits. That's rewarding for me, and it's part of the lifestyle that I enjoy to live.
Cool. All right. So the card at these events, you've got CWE champ Chiseled Chad Daniels, the crazy mofo kamikaze, and then the main event, this Rumble to Remember, an over-the-top rope Royal Rumble. How is this lineup going to be for the fans?
Yeah, listen, every night's been a great night of action. It always caps off with the Rumble, which is so unpredictable. You got so many bodies flying in there. Every minute, somebody else is coming in the ring. And the strategy's different. It's not about pinning a guy or making him submit. You got to throw him over the top rope. So that gives certain guys some advantage. And the winner of that every night has a future title shot. So I'm trying to win one of those to make sure that I have to be brought back here at some point and get my title shot.
All right, so we've got Prince Albert Friday, Saskatoon Saturday, the Cote First Nation on Sunday, then in Yorkton on Monday, December 1st, CWEtickets.com. Austin Aries, thank you so much, and we will see you there.
Thank you.
Jeff has a frosty look at weather coming after the break, and later the post-op risks associated with a major health procedure outlined in a new report. So, Jeff, the environmentalists must be just fuming because you were out all over Saskatchewan spraying that old school kind of Christmas frost onto all the trees and pretty much anything.
That's right. That's what I was doing. It was my job to use that make it snow canned product. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I had my stencils out and everything. No, Mother Nature was doing a fantastic job. Fog will create rime ice. That's what we had across many parts of Saskatchewan. It's a clear night and we get that effect. Then it's hoarfrost. It's a slightly different, physics procedure, but ultimately it looks beautiful, as I mentioned earlier on. Keeping our eye on this little pocket of snow, this little area of active weather sliding through Alberta into Saskatchewan. Some places we're expecting maybe 2 to 4 centimeters of snow, maybe just a bit more. Also out in BC, getting rain on the lower mainland and Vancouver Island, southern tip, and that system is moving through the Pacific Northwest into parts of Idaho and ultimately Montana. So some parts of Western North America are dealing with some active weather, but not many. Taking a look at the Futurecast indicating indicating that most of that snow is going to fall in the heaviest snow is going to fall in the States. But yes, in Alberta and southern Saskatchewan, they're still going to get a taste of some of that snow, and it moves up towards the Yorkton area as well. A little something sliding through in a secondary system in the Prince Albert area. So overnight tonight, well, not much variation here. Some places we'll start to see a little bit of snow falling in the overnight. Minus 12 degrees in Spiritwood, minus 11 in the Battlefords, minus 12 in Candle Lake and Birch Hills and Rostern and Nipawin and Melfort. So a pretty consistent temperature pattern. But as I mentioned, some places may start to see some snow falling and maybe even some fog patches in the overnight. Now, as we roll into tomorrow, cloudy skies in Spiritwood, minus 11. We've got a pretty good chance of flurries in the Battlefords, minus 9, maybe, as I say, maybe 2 to 4 centimeters of snow when all is said and done. Candle Lake, a similar situation, minus 10 degrees. Birch Hills, minus 9. Ditto that for Rostern. Expecting some flurries in Nipawin as well, minus 9 degrees and minus 9 in Melfort. So, yeah, a bit of a snowy system sliding through. Again, we might see, maybe, let's say, for the sake of argument, we'll say 5 centimeters of snow, but that's sort of the upward end there. Minus 12 degrees, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow in the overnight for Prince Albert and area. The wind's backing off. We do not anticipate much more snow the following day. It sort of tapers off maybe in an additional couple centimeters of snow. Minus 9 degrees, which is below seasonal. Winds out of the northeast at 10, so that minus 9 will still feel a little bit cooler. And then into the weekend. Well, it's a cold weekend and the start of the work week. As you can see, minus 12 degrees on Saturday and Sunday, minus 11 on Monday. Tuesday, cloudy and minus 12, and really getting cold on Wednesday, dropping off to minus 17. Bounces back to minus 11 with a chance of flurries on Thursday, but 11 is still, on the minus side, is still below seasonal. So, yes, cold 7 days is in store, but we might get a bit of a break once you get into Friday and Saturday of next week.
Jeff, I'll probably put you on the spot here. I can't remember. I don't know what the material is or what it is, or maybe this is a better question.
Gore-Tex.
Do you see it around anymore? It seems like that's a thing of the 80s.
Naga hide? What kind of material? Oh, you mean make it snow?
Yeah, that frost.
I believe that was the trademark name. I'm sure it's got other names, you know, but I'll put the I team on that.
There you go. Either way, that's well, he was busy for sure. Jeff was last night and early into the morning. He had to hurry hard. And at the curling Olympic trials in Halifax, Saskatchewan's team Mike McEwen has qualified for tonight's semifinal versus Matt Dunstone after beating the Manitoba rink in the round robin finale last night.
With 3 and 10 for Gushue to put himself in to the semifinal. We'll find out now. Brad Gushue, as the crowd comes alive. Nichols on it. Nichols staying with it. Can you get your 3? Bang, bang. No, he pumped it through the middle.
That miss by Brad Gushue gave Brad Jacobs the victory last night and a bye directly to the final. Gushue, who announced he will retire at the end of the season, is now eliminated, preventing him from a 3rd Olympic Games appearance. The semifinal between McEwen and Dunstone is underway on TSN. The best rodeo talent from across Western and Central Canada are in Regina for the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals. The event features the top 10 athletes in each major CPRA rodeo event. Riders earn their spots throughout the season by collecting points at Maple Leaf Circuit rodeos across Western and Central Canada. This year's prize payout is nearly $220,000, making it one of the largest in Canada, and winners also earn the chance to compete for the NFR Open. The event also saw the crowning of the new Miss Rodeo Agribition for 2026 as Shyla Sitter took over for Abby Hardy. The rodeo continues tonight and runs through Saturday. If you're one of the lucky ones to be scheduled for surgery, frightening conclusions of a new study. 1 in 6 older adults suffers new disabilities or even death within 6 months of a major procedure. Adrian Gobriel takes a deeper dive into the post-op experiences of some Canadian seniors.
The road to recovery for seniors following surgery can be fraught with challenges.
My intestine exploded and it caused major infections.
Sandra Espinosa is still struggling to find her footing, 4 months after a lengthy abdominal surgery.
I even find it difficult to stand up and wash dishes. Something that's so simple, but it's not simple for me anymore.
More than 2,000 Canadian seniors 65 and older were enrolled in a national study by a team of doctors across the country. Their investigation found that 1 in 6 seniors suffer new disabilities or even death within 6 months after going through a major non-cardiac surgery, increasing to 1 in 5 after 1 year.
They had a poor quality of life. They were almost 5 to 6 times more likely to have significant depression.
How concerned should we be?
70% of patients survive surgery and they're functional. That's great. We still have a proportion, that 1 in 6, that struggle. And so we now understand how often that occurs, so we can communicate that to patients. We can have this discussion that we need to have more often before surgery.
Is there more that can be done to better prepare patients ahead of their surgery?
Yes. None of us would choose to run a marathon tomorrow without preparing, but yet we get people to go through very stressful sort of psychological and physical experiences in surgery, oftentimes without much in the way of preparation.
You nearly died post-surgery.
I was very much almost a statistic. Post-surgery is a long battle.
Espinoza hopes that her story and this study begin a vital conversation across the country. Researchers also say that both patients and healthcare providers need to reset their post-surgery expectations. The study found that it's taking the average Canadian senior 3 to 6 months to regain their full physical capacity.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
Jeff, you've probably heard of the old Wayne Gretzky quote, "Don't go where the puck is, go where the puck is going," right?
Yes.
Well, there you go. Well, an American museum owner did just that. Canadians stopped coming to them, so an American rubber duck museum is now coming to Canada.
We love Canada. That's why we moved to Point Roberts to begin with. Canada aligns more with our values.
Neil King is getting his ducks in a row as he and his wife Crystal prepare to open their new business at Tawasin Mills Mall in British Columbia. The American couple opened their rubber duck museum in Point Roberts, Washington in July 2024. But after U.S. President Donald Trump was elected, they say their foot traffic stopped, with a large amount coming from Canadians who no longer wanted to travel to the U.S. So there you go, Jeff. Have you ever been to Tawasin Mall, right by the
I have not been to Tawasin Mall. I've been to Tawasin to catch the ferry, but on my way into the States, I've never stopped at the Duck Museum.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's right. Right in that neck of the woods. I wonder where they're going to put it. I used to live actually in Ladner, just next door. Neighbor, you know who my neighbor was? Will Sasso, Canadian actor.
Exactly. Will's great.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.